The madness of King George replayed in a republic? When the American Republic was born, it wasn't just rebelling against a tax or a tyrant. It was rejecting an entire way of thinking that power descends from a single will, that citizens are subjects, and that a ruler's ego defines a nation's destiny. 2.5 centuries later, that same illusion has returned, wrapped in a red tie and chanting, "Make America Great Again." Donald Trump doesn't wear a crown, but he governs as though one still sits on his head. In the 18th century, King George III ruled from Windsor Castle, convinced that dissent was disloyalty. He treated the colonies as unruly subsidiaries, and when they resisted, he punished instead of listening. His tragedy was both personal and political. Tormented by madness, he lost his grip on reality. Today, watching Trump rage against courts and the Constitution, you can't help but wonder, is America staging a sequel? The madness of King Donald, not in Windsor, but in Washington. He sees enemies where institutions stand, betrayal where accountability operates, and loyalty demanded not to office but to himself. His rallies mimic royal pageantry. His grievances, divine right, rewritten for cable news. Ironically, the American Revolution's moral vocabulary came from Britain itself. John Locke taught that government is a trust, not a possession. Edmund Burke warned that liberty is in danger when it is nibbled away for expedience. Thomas Paine called monarchy the popery of government. Their insight was simple. Authority without consent is a form of madness. The founders built a republic on that principle. Trump, confusing leadership with ownership, has revived the very delusion they overthrew. But this peril goes beyond one man. Across the world, in South Korea, a former prosecutor rose to the presidency, governing as though citizens were defendants, and justice his personal verdict. It's the same pattern. The specialist who mistakes control for competence, the expert who confuses skill with universal authority. Trump's America resembles not a republic reborn, but an empire revived not over colonies, but over minds. The tools of conquest are now fear, flattery, and disinformation. He rallies citizens as shareholders in his brand of grievance, believing that total obedience brings peace and that order enforced by fear equals stability. Yet George III's madness should have taught us even kings cannot command reality. Power without conscience corrodes its holder, long before it ruins its subjects. The genius of the revolution was not victory, it was restraint. Sovereignty belongs not to a man or a party, but to the people. Those who wield it must do so on trust, not entitlement. Trump's cult of dominance and grievance mocks that inheritance. He claims to defend America's greatness, even as he dismantles its moral architecture, replacing public virtue with private vengeance. The tragedy of George III was madness. The tragedy of Donald Trump would be imitation.